Now, the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
This past weekend, the Michigan State hockey team was able to clinch its second straight Big Ten regular season championship. After Minnesota lost to Penn State in overtime on Friday night, the Spartans just needed a win in regulation at Notre Dame in the regular season finale on Saturday to clinch at least a share of the conference title. That is exactly what the Spartans were able to do, and we were there to see it all. With Notre Dame sitting in last place in the Big Ten, the odds were in MSU's favor to pick up a win in regulation, but the Fighting Irish were celebrating 20th-year head coach Jeff Jackson, who's a Michigan State alum and was coaching his final home game for the Fighting Irish. Things started well for the Spartans in the first period on Saturday. Not even 3 minutes into the game, standout freshman Shane Van Sage sends it through two defenders and rings the pipe for the first goal of the game. MSU outshot Notre Dame 20-9 in the first period, and the Fighting Irish would tie things up at 1 just 32 seconds into the second period. However, the Spartans responded in a hurry. Less than 4 minutes later, Tiernan Shouty gives the lead back to MSU with his 8th goal of the season. Less than 2 minutes later, Van Sage finds the back of the net again. His 6th goal of the season gives the Spartans a 2-goal lead entering the final period. Notre Dame got within a goal in the third period, however, it wasn't a worry for MSU on the power play. Tanner Kelly buries the rebound. Kelly is one of 2 players who have been with the program longer than head coach Adam Nightingale and his staff, meaning Kelly was a freshman when Michigan State went on a 13-game losing streak and finished in last place in the conference. Nightingale was hired that offseason in 2022, and now, thanks to a 5-2 victory over Notre Dame this past Saturday, the Spartans are back-to-back Big Ten champs.
You know, last year I think we were picked to finish 5th or 4th, you know, and so we were able to sneak up some teams and prove some people wrong. We didn't have that this year, right? We were picked to finish first, so every night, you know, we had a target on our back, and you know, I thought the guys, you know, specifically, you know, Gooch and TK, you know, for them to, you know, they were here before we got here, and you know, never hadn't won a playoff game, right? And so now we've got a chance to host home ice again, and to win in our conference is not easy, and we don't take it for granted, right? We have a ton of respect for it, but yeah, it was a special group of guys.
All year we had a target on our back, and just being able to continue to win games and come out first place in the Big Ten is truly something special when you got teams gunning for you every single game.
Being a freshman, this is obviously Van Sage's first Big Ten championship. The St. Louis native is draft eligible this year and is expected to hear his name called in the first few rounds of this year's NHL draft, and he's played impactful minutes for the Spartans all season long.
Just coming in, showing up from day one in the summer, and doing everything I can to be at my best. And obviously, I think there's a lot that goes into it, but a lot of physical that goes into it, but I think a lot of it's mental, and just believing in myself, believing that I belong to play at this level, and that I can play with these guys.
Now, while winning the Big Ten title is one of the team's goals this year, they are not satisfied. Next up is to try to win the Big Ten tournament title for the second year in a row, and then the focus will quickly turn to winning the program's first national championship since 2007.
Obviously, guys, we're super proud of the guys, and but we want to keep playing hockey, right? And I think that I do think that's an unbelievable accomplishment. But we feel like we got a lot of hockey left in us, and we still got to go out there and prove it. But you know, this team's done a heck of a job. I mean, we got a chance. We won the GLI. You know, there's a trophy between us and Minnesota, which I didn't even know existed because we hadn't won it in so long. And we got that one. We won the duel in the D, and now we got this one. So we got an opportunity to play for 2 more of them.
MSU shared the Big Ten title with Minnesota this season, and because the Spartans won the regular season series with the Golden Gophers, they earned the #1 seed in the Big Ten tournament. MSU had a bye this weekend and will begin Big Ten tournament play here at Munn Ice Arena next weekend. The Michigan State women's basketball team began Big Ten tournament play this week, and we'll have a recap of their senior day this past Saturday coming up after the break.
When you grocery shop with MSU FCU Cashback Plus, you get cash back. When you buy prescriptions, you get cash back. When you travel, dine out, Buy gas. Make home improvements. Get up to 20% of your hard-earned cash back on your purchases with Cashback Plus. Discover how at msufcu.org/cashback plus.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
This past Saturday, the Michigan State women's basketball team ended the regular season by taking down Minnesota 73-58 here at the Breslin Center. Afterwards, the Spartans celebrated 4 seniors, including 6th-year senior Julia Aralt, who has reached over 1,000 career points in her career and has a fair share of ups and downs. Our Sharian McBroom was at Senior Day last Saturday and has more on a memorable career for Aralt.
Seniors are the leaders of the team, the heartbeat of the program. This season, the Spartans were led by 4 seniors, and some say none have been more impactful than 6-year senior Julia Aralt, who head coach Robin Freilich says has always rose to the challenge and has helped propel this program to new heights.
I always say it's hard for me to put into words, just kind of everything I feel and just how much this place has meant to me. I think the most important part is just the people I've been able to meet and relationships and stuff. It's been just, I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better just experience, and friends, family, and everybody was kind of able to be a part of it. So just kind of just the experience overall, and knowing that my time here I got blessed with some extra time as well. So I think that was just really cool for me to get to spend some extra time doing something I really love to do.
We are so lucky. We're so lucky to coach Julia. We're so lucky Julia is a Spartan, you know, and I think of, if I could describe her, and I could give a million words to describe her, but if I could give one word, it would be Spartan. Like, she loves Michigan State. She loves this university. She loves these people. She loves this program.
2 years ago, when Coach Robin Freilich and her staff came to East Lansing, Aralt rose to the challenge, deciding to stay a Spartan and lead her team.
When we came in as a new staff, you know, she could have left. And, you know, we had a lot of early conversations, and she didn't know what she wanted to do, right? I mean, I think she was really at a crossroads of what she wanted out of basketball, or what the next thing was going to be. And I think we both just kind of talked and said, you know what, let's just give it a chance. Let's see what this looks like. Like, we really feel like you can be great here. You can be great in our system. Let's see what it looks like. And, you know, nowadays a lot of kids don't do that, right? A lot of kids don't say, sure, you're new, but I'm going to trust you. And she did. And I think the minute she did that, right, it's everybody else who's here trusts you a little more too. So I always think of her as this bridge that really welcomed our new staff in, connected us, believed in us, right? We believed in her. And, you know, 2 years later, we just feel so lucky.
But a new coaching staff wasn't the only thing Aralt was facing at the time, as she also took into consideration if she still had the same love for the game of basketball.
Injury piece, it was just like, I had really, you know, had never had anything like that, and so I think it hit hard, and I think that it was just something that really challenged me in a way of, you know, I wasn't used to feeling like I couldn't do things physically, and I think that was just really a struggle for me mentally, and it was hard for me to come in every day and kind of, you know, approach it with the mentality of like, it's going to get better, because it was just so, like, it was just such a shock to me. And I think over time and just being able to kind of work through that was the most important piece. But I think Coach Freilich and them helped tremendously too. And Coach Freilich says Aralt is a person that she will always remember for years to come, with the example she was able to set throughout the program.
I'm so thankful, and she'll be a story that we always point to, because her story is really how a lot of stories are. Like, there's ups and downs and challenges and big decisions, and, you know, a lot of the stories we read are just when everything goes right. But she had a lot of things go wrong, and stuck with it, you know, and was willing to work through to get to the other side, and was willing to do it with new people. And so for that, we are forever grateful.
And in her last game at home at the Breslin Center, Aralt helped to lead her team to a win over Minnesota.
Just kind of building off that momentum, and I don't know, I think we have the best fans ever, so I feel like if you give them one little, you know, arm wave, they get pretty excited, so I just appreciate them and, you know, all the time and energy and effort they spend rooting for us. So.
But Aralt wasn't the only senior on this year's team, and with only a few minutes left in the game, all 4 seniors were on the court, a memory Aralt says she will always remember.
I noticed it, I think with like maybe 3 minutes left, I can't remember exactly, but I looked around and I saw the 3 of them, and I was just like, what a moment, and just how much the 3 of them have been impactful to this program in a short amount of time. I just respect them and love them very much, and it was a really cool experience for me to just look at them and be like, we're going to do it, and leave here on a win, and super proud of all of them, and just excited for them and their futures, and just excited that I got to know them.
And when senior festivities finally took place, the senior leader took that time to just take it all in one last time.
It's just take a moment to look around and really just take it all in. I think obviously the fans and just all the family and friends and teammates, it's just such a special moment, and you try and capture it kind of mentally. I know we're pretty lucky we live in a time where we can get videos and pictures and all that good stuff, but I think just looking around and taking a deep breath and just realizing how truly special that moment is, and just being present in that space, and that was something I really try to focus on. Just kind of kept looking around like, this is amazing, and you know, although this is my last time, I just feel blessed and honored to have even gotten to experience it.
The Spartans are expected to hear their name called on Selection Sunday for the NCAA tournament, meaning after this week's Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis, A-Rault will have more basketball to play for the green and white. Coming up after the break, we're going to be sitting down with 2 players on the Michigan State men's basketball team who have not scored a point this season, but have played a factor in the Spartans winning another Big Ten title. We'll have that story for you right after the break.
I love getting out and trying new things. But my seizures have always kept me back. Thankfully, the providers and researchers at MSU Healthcare work together to get my epilepsy under control. So now I can try anything.
At MSU Healthcare, helping you do you is what matters most to us. In fact, it's our mission. Visit healthcare.msu.edu to find a provider.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Late this summer, the Michigan State men's basketball team added twins Colin and Brennan Walton to the roster as freshman walk-ons. The 2 were very talented players at Okemos High School and had no intentions of playing college basketball until this opportunity came about. Our Tyler Driesinga sat down with them this week to talk more about the opportunity to play for the team they grew up rooting for and how they are living out a childhood dream.
Sometimes life is about being in the right place at the right time. Twins Brennan and Colin Walton know that all too well.
If you would have told me when I was 6 that I'd be playing on being a part of this team, I would be gravely surprised. If you had told me my junior year of high school that I'd be playing basketball in college, I'd be just as surprised.
Yeah, we definitely got a funky route to get here, I'd say that. And I mean, I said this to you previously in the summer, like, yeah, I was working at McDonald's in March.
The Waltons grew up in Okemos, the neighboring town to East Lansing. They were 2 of the top players on Okemos's varsity team, but playing in college wasn't really on their minds. That all changed when Okemos played East Lansing High, and the Waltons played well in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, played the game, played hard, got technical, went to the locker room, was annoyed, but knew that we'd run into them again.
Okemos lost that night in the last regular season game of the Waltons' senior year. But little did the twins know, Tom Izzo was at the game, and he was quite impressed by the way the brothers played.
One thing led to another, and got a call in July.
That call was from MSU assistant coach John Borovich, asking them if they'd like to join the MSU team as walk-ons. The Spartans had invited the Waltons to a couple of workouts since that game against East Lansing. But the twins didn't think too much of it. They were working summer jobs in landscaping, playing golf, and trying to figure out what to do with the next chapters of their lives when the call came.
I mean, we were both up usually at 4:35, spraying pesticides. So.
No, it wasn't that early, but it was.
Dude, some of the days when it was 90, it was that early.
It was.
But
early,
I mean, we were up at 5. Right. But yeah. So again, that call was great because then I was able to quit that job.
Yeah, and it was as soon as I got pesticide certified too.
Yeah, I just passed
I
those
had to take these tests.
At MSU,
Day I finally passed the test for the 3rd time. Get a call on, okay, I'm quitting. So. No more pesticides. Yeah, so if anybody needs pesticide spray, you know who to call.
The Waltons are roommates these days, but without their parents around to ease some of the tension, they say there's been a little bit of a learning curve.
For instance, my mom would get mad at Brennan for not hanging up the bath mat. So sometimes I forget to hang out the bath mat in our apartment, and then Brennan brings it in my room and throws it at me. So it's kind of like a little bit of, you know, I guess we got to do our own stuff. We got to keep each other in check. But I'd also say, for the most part, I think it's really a blessing to be able to spend however many years together. I think that's the biggest thing. I don't think we're getting closer. I don't think we're getting farther apart. I mean, we've always been, as Brent said, I mean, very close. Everything that we do, we usually do together.
I mean, we've always been referred to as the twins. You know, when we were at Okemos, you know, middle school, AAU, summer ball, you know, it wasn't referred to Brennan and then Colin or Colin and Brennan. It was always just the twins because we were always doing the same thing.
The Waltons also admit it took a while to adjust to the program in college life, but Izzo liked what he saw. He decided to have the Twins redshirt this season, preserving an extra year of eligibility.
I think those guys are good enough to play, you know, maybe here, maybe somewhere, so I would never want to waste that opportunity. Since I wasted one in college, I might have been a pro, who knows. I would have had a fifth year, so I want to make sure I don't do that to somebody else.
You had talked about how him coming to your high school game and saying, hey, that kid played pretty well, that was enough. For then months later to hear him say, these two guys are good enough to play somewhere. What was that like for you guys?
When we came in, people thought we were a little worse than we actually were. But, you know, we can shoot a little bit, we can do little things. And some things, you know, like athleticism, you know, it's not really our...
Still working on that.
Yeah, it's not really our main thing, you know, we're no Cohen Carr. But,
nobody is.
But, I mean, you know, we go to the glass, we offensive rebound, you know, smart with the ball. And I mean, I think that's, you know, what he saw when we played East Lansing.
We're both happy that we're redshirting because we'll see what happens. And even if hopefully we're able to stay here until we graduate, and then maybe we have eligibility left and want to go and see where we can play, I think that'd be great.
The Waltons don't know what the future holds. They understand it's possible they'll be asked to move on after the season, but they also say they really feel valued and approach each day with gratitude. This whole opportunity is beyond their wildest dreams, and for as long as it lasts, they'll enjoy it together, the way they've enjoyed every sport they've ever played.
It seems like you guys have a great perspective. Like, you understand that, you know, you kind of caught a break and you're making the most of it and having so much fun, and that's a pretty mature perspective to have for 18, 19-year-old kids. I guess what allows you guys to have that perspective? Where does that come from for you guys?
We're both very realistic. We don't think we're all that. You know, I think we have a lot. I think we grew up with kind of realism. Like, this is how it's going to be. This is who you are. Then you got to figure it out.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. Like, I just had a feeling to figure itself out, and you know, if they call and like, yeah, we're not taking you guys, you know, figure out a path, maybe get another pesticide certification, but who knows? But I don't know. I mean, it's just something that we never thought was going to happen. So, you know, you got to think. Yeah, I mean, that's the truth. You know, when you don't expect something to happen and then it happens, you know, you're more grateful and you take advantage of it more. You know.
Now, with the redshirt rules, the Twins are not allowed to play in any games this season, even if it is a blowout. However, they have had the opportunity to travel to some pretty cool places like Maui, and also having a front row seat to Trey Holloman's game winner at Maryland. They also say one of the biggest perks about being a Division I athlete, the free food that comes with it. We need to take one more break, and when we come back, we're going to be recapping how Michigan State took down Wisconsin this past Saturday. We'll see you soon.
Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Thanks to Maryland taking down Michigan on Wednesday night in Ann Arbor, the Michigan State men's basketball team was officially able to call themselves Big Ten champions this year. It's the 11th time in program history they have won the Big Ten under head coach Tom Izzo. A big reason the Spartans were able to get it done this year was due to an improbable stretch of winning 4 straight games against teams in the AP Top 25, and that was capped off with Sunday's win over Wisconsin here at the Breslin Center. The gauntlet of a second-half schedule continued for the Michigan State men's basketball team on Sunday, coming off wins at Michigan against Purdue and at Maryland. Michigan State would let Wisconsin get hot in the early going. Stephen Crowell splashed home a 3 to help the Badgers build an early 9-point lead. But then the Spartans got their swagger back when Cohen Carr dipped into his bag of tricks. A reverse alley-oop slam dunk would spark MSU. Jaden Akins would then catch fire shortly after. He made 3 straight three-point attempts and would help MSU take the lead. Wisconsin fought back to lead by 2 at halftime, with MSU freshman Jace Richardson missing most of the first half due to foul trouble. He then came alive in the second half, getting the 3 and the foul to give MSU the lead. And the dunk party really took off for Michigan State. Carson Cooper throws it down, which led to a Wisconsin timeout, and Carr was at it again, flying through the sky for the monster jam. MSU led by as much as 10 points in the second half and was able to hold on thanks to a big day from Jackson Kohler. He gets the bucket and the foul to grow the lead. Kohler finished with 10 points and a career-high 16 rebounds as Michigan State took down Wisconsin 71-62, and it was Akins leading the way with 19 points.
There's no question Jaden Akins not only did it offensively, but he did a hell of a job defensively, and he got 8 rebounds. And that's something else we've been on him about. So give Jaden a lot of credit.
I was feeling good today. I just been putting in a lot of work. I knew that I was due to make some threes sometime soon, so it definitely felt good to see something go in.
MSU improved its win streak to 5 games after the victory over Wisconsin. And if you want to know how impressive the win streak was, in the games at Illinois, at Michigan, and at Maryland, Michigan State did not give up a field goal in the final 4 minutes of the game. Against Wisconsin on Sunday, MSU held the Badgers to just 2 points in the final 4 minutes, as this team has turned into one of Tom Izzo's better defensive groups.
You know, I wouldn't have said that at the beginning of the year, but I'm starting to think it. You know, Jeremy can guard, Trey can guard, Jaden, I said all year long, even though he was struggling with shooting, can guard. Jace is a funny defender. He's gotten so much better, can guard. Cooper is an elite defender. Cohen, when he comes in.
Once we get into those last 10 minutes, I feel like it's probably the most locked in that we are defensively, because we know the last 10 minutes it's going to be whoever gets the most stops at the end of the game, especially in close ones like this and the last 4 that we've had. It's kind of just, we got to get those stops to win the game.
Lastly, the Cohen Carr reverse slam dunk sparked the Spartans, and that is something they have seen happen throughout this season time and time again.
It's funny, a dunk is worth 2 points, a three's worth 3 points, but his dunks are worth 6 points, I think, because not only are they usually incredible plays, both of them. The reverse one, we've been coaching that one this week, so at least he did his job.
Just being able to provide that for this team is great. The way the gym gets loud and lights up when I do something, it's amazing. And yeah, I feel like my dunks are worth more than 2 points.
Michigan State is going to wrap up the regular season on Sunday here at the Breslin Center against rival Michigan, with tip-off scheduled for noon. So while the regular season is coming to an end, so is this season of the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show. We appreciate you tuning in over the last few months, and we will be back in the fall for year 2 of Jonathan Smith leading the Michigan State football program. And before we wrap up this final show, here is our final play of the week.
Now, the play of the week, sponsored by Chupan & Sons.
Well, defensively, and
here we go upstairs.
Holloman, and it's Carr. He may be the most electrifying leaper in the country.
10,000 Michigan children are in foster care, and many of them need a temporary home. Are you open?
As a foster parent, you help a child reach their goals.
You make a game-changing assist.
You give a child the home advantage.
And you do it because you know every child deserves a special team.
Ready to cheer on a child? Take the first step to become a foster parent today.
When you grocery shop with MSU FCU Cashback Plus, you get cash back. When you buy prescriptions, you get cash back. When you travel, dine out, buy gas, make home improvements, get up to 20% of your hard-earned cash back on your purchases with Cashback Plus. Discover how at msufcu.org/cashback plus.